This is just a brief tutorial on how to use Microsoft Excel to build your allocations budget as well as using some of the features in Microsoft Excel. We have just a very generic student organization that we're working with, and the things you want to look at as somebody filling out an allocations budget are these 4 areas up here at the top. This first column that I've highlighted, the actual, is what you have spent actual to date out of your 6-digit or your 4-digit budget. There are separate budgets for 6-digit, which is the money that you are given through SGA allocations, and 4-digit, which is the money that your student organization raises on its own. This is important to have this column as accurate as possible. Column F, the projected, that would be what you would have projected to spend. You put things that you have already spent money on, things that you want to spend for the current fiscal year. And then actual to date is for the current fiscal year. So if you got allocations money, you were awarded it last year and you've been using it this year, in column F, you're going to be putting what you asked us for, what you anticipated you were going to spend it on. In column G, you will put down what you have actually spent up until the date, and then column H is what you would like from us for the next fiscal year, activities that you are asking for us for money for. This area is your income, and this is where you will put down what you receive from allocations. This is also where you will put down your carryover, and carryover is any money from the previous year that you did not spend that was transferred, carried over into your account. And then this area is for your expenses. This area can be as long or as short as your organization needs, but what we look for as a committee is what activity, what thing you will be doing, when you will be doing it, and kind of an itemized breakdown of what you will need. So for example, I'll kind of show you how to use this. Say this is the first year that you have been applying for allocations. So in this area, you are going to put what you would like to receive from allocations. If you go to this generic awareness activity, we'll say that our speaker has fees of $1,000 and you would like $250 to market it. And that's in December, and you'd really like to go to a high school or to a convention or something to market your program. You're going to want to find mileage to the destination that you're going to be going, and we can allocate up to 50 cents a mile. So say Kansas City is 300 miles from here, just as an example. You can get $150 to Kansas City and $150 back from Kansas City based on our mileage formula. So put $300 in there. Lodging, you're going to have a couple of nights in a hotel. Say you're going to have 2 hotel rooms and it's $100 a night. Okay, so you'll be staying the night of the 5th, the night of the 6th, and this organization is going to be returning on the 7th. So 2 nights in a hotel, 2 hotel rooms at $100 a piece. So $200 a night for 2 nights, $400. And you want to take your organization out to a nice meal while you're there, and you think it's probably going to cost about $100. So you have the basis, the start of a budget here. One thing that we as a committee highly recommend you use are the formulas associated with Microsoft Excel. So if you scroll down here to your total expenses, you can use the sum formula, and that adds up all of your items in the budget. So it's just equals to start your formula, and then in all caps you need to type the word sum. You can see that it's kind of starting to autofill here. So sum, and then you use your first parenthesis, and you can click somewhere and start to highlight your range. We suggest that you highlight pretty much everything in your expenses column. It doesn't, it just adds cells where there are numbers in there. And so now that you've highlighted it, you can go back down, you can see that it put down the range for the right column. And you will just close your parenthesis and you will hit enter. So you can see that the total of all these things is $2,050. All this really does is it allows for the budgets to be very accurate without having to use calculators and possibly having a user mistake. And so say you see how much you need from us, and then you will just go into this SGA allocations and type in 2050. And if you have a carryover from the previous year, you'll want to put that in there. For the sake of this, you have $100 left over from last year, and you see that you need $2,050, so you'll want to change this to where it adds up to 2,050, so $1,950. And then you can use the sum formula again to add up all of the income areas. You can see that that equals the amount down here. And then what you want to do for if you had numbers in these columns over here, you would want to do a net income. And so what you would do is go ahead and you always want to take your expenses from your income. So put the equal in there, and then the first thing you want to select is your total income. And so you can come back down here and see that it has been selected. You put a minus sign in there, and then you select your total expenses. And ideally it would come out to 0 for this budget. If you have any questions, or if you think there are additional formulas that would be useful when preparing an allocations budget, please contact us in the SGA office. Thank you.